So yesterday, I was listening to second place finisher at the Olympia, Derek Lunsford's Instagram, and he said he had a big secret to announce today, and that he's gonna be announcing it on YouTube. So what did I do? I turned my notification bell on for Derek's channel. I woke up this morning, I watched a YouTube video from beginning to end, and guess what? This guy's having his first kid. So congratulations to Derek and his wife. This is an amazing, amazing announcement. It's huge. It's not really bodybuilding related unless we talk about the stress that's gonna be now on Derek Lunsford going into this year's Olympia prep and the future Olympia preps. So is this gonna affect Derek Lunsford's career in a positive way or a negative way? We're gonna break that down right now. So since you guys love Old School Lads products so damn much, you guys actually bought every single natty, except this one, in stock. So now we're sold out. So you have to wait now until it's back in stock to pick up this amazing product. But luckily we have another product that I made with Old School Labs Nitro 3D. This is our intra-workout. Pick it up. I don't know what you guys are waiting for. This product is just as good as natty. It's the best intra-workout formula on the market, and you guys can pick it up right now using my code NICBS, save money, save extra money right now. The sale ends today using code NICBS. So let's talk about the 2023 Mr. Olympia prep for Derek Lunsford. Is he gonna be more stressed than last year going into this year's prep now that he knows his wife is gonna be having their first child? Well, luckily enough, Derek did not impregnate his wife too early, and they're not gonna be having their first child till 2024. So it looks like all that extra stress that we thought he was gonna have this year will actually be happening next year. So that's good. So let's talk about this year because that's coming up right now, right? The Olympia is only a couple months away now. And let's talk about what this does to Derek Lunsford and his mindset going into this Olympia. So if anything, Derek should be more motivated than ever because now he has another person that relies on him and his family to make sure he does his best because this is his professional career, bodybuilding. This is how he makes a living. This is how he supports himself and his wife and now his future child. So now it's all business for Derek Lunsford. He has to make sure he's not only doing well at shows, but he's monetizing his career in every way possible. Because now, like I said, this is his first child. It adds another layer of stress to this entire equation, which has already got a ton of variables going on. Now, I don't think it's gonna really directly affect this prep in a negative way this year, because right now, it's still the same at home. It's just him and his wife. Yeah, his wife obviously has a little more responsibility because obviously she's pregnant. She's carrying around their first unborn child. But luckily, that kid's not gonna be born to 2024. So this year, he'll be okay. He's gonna be able to escape any extra pressure and stress, except for obviously his wife going through this process. Being pregnant is not the easiest thing. You don't know what could happen. She could wake up in the middle of the night, have whatever feelings, God forbid something happens. That obviously is on the table. But next year is what I'm really worried about, because that'll be his first year prepping for a show with his child. And obviously they're gonna have that first kid next year, probably the first quarter of next year. So he'll at least have a little bit time to spend with his kid in the off season first before he hunkers down and goes into prep and has to like kind of go into tunnel vision and zone out and forget about all his other stuff. But even then, when you have a kid, all those things change because it's not about you all the time. It's not about you prioritizing yourself and what you have to do first now, unless your wife is like, Derek, you don't have to do anything regardless if you're prepping. I will do every single thing. You don't have to even touch the baby unless you want to. That is the only way this will not affect Derek in 2024. And I'm not against him having a kid, and I'm not against kids. But what I am saying, and I'm trying to be as real and transparent as possible here, the kids make things harder. Absolutely, they make things harder. And I'm glad if he wanted to have a kid, he was able to have one now, right? God bless him. Most people don't have kids that compete in bodybuilding at the highest level. I know a lot of guys have gotten away of having kids and luckily they're healthy and they're fine, But many, 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 many guys struggle with this. Many don't have kids. And it's really unfortunate this is a side effect of what we do. But luckily, Derek was still healthy enough. Luckily, he was still young enough, and he was able to have a kid now. So hopefully, this is what he wanted. And obviously, going forward, if he wants to have other children, I don't know. But this first kid obviously going to add an extra layer of stress next year. And will it affect him long term? Will he not be able to fulfill his goals as a bodybuilder and dreams and aspirations of being Mr. Olympia? I don't think it's going to hold him back that much. But it's definitely going to be a lot harder next year prepping for a show. And it's also going to be a lot more motivating prepping for a show next year. So it's a double-edged sword. There's going to be a lot of extra stress, but there's also a lot of extra motivation knowing you're doing this for your unborn child and potentially your first child, right? Next year. I think this year he's going to be extra motivated because he knows he has a child coming and he wants to welcome this child with open arms and be like, Daddy's the fucking champ, Mr. Olympia. And then next year possibly be defending this title as a father. And what's more motivating than that? Being the 2023 Mr. Olympia and then 2024 having your first child and then going into the 2024 prep as a defending champ and as a father for the first time. That's pretty fucking cool if you ask me. But that's obviously if everything goes perfectly well right now. He's got to win first. His wife's got to have the child, and then we got to worry about 2024. But now let's talk about the worst case scenario. Let's say he just doesn't win the Olympia this year. Let's say he takes second or third or whatever happens. It's irrelevant. And he goes into 2024, he has his first child, and now the 2024 prep is up. Is he as motivated as he was this year? Because now he knows he's at the gym. His kid, his wife's at home. He can't be there all the time. He's got to do his cardio. He's got to do his training. He's got to be worried about eating. He's got to make sure he's sleeping enough. He's got to travel. The traveling's going to be really hard. It's going to be very hard. And I really feel for him because it's hard to leave my dogs, let alone my fucking kid at home and my wife. How will Derek receive this? I'm thinking the same thing. I don't know. But I do think Derek at anyone can do it because he's very, very structured. He has a good routine. He's very, very consistent. He knows what hard work is. He has a great support system. So I don't see this being a problem at all. It's definitely gonna be more challenging next year with the first child and the first time doing it. And it could make things a little more stressful, that's for sure. But I think Derek Lunsford at the end of the day will still win a Mr. Olympia, whether it's this year or next year or whenever in the future. I just think it's gonna be a lot harder than he expected.